So thank you everyone here for tuning in to the AMA on Caesar's Calls. As you guys know, if you can't tune in for the AMA live, the AMAs will be uploaded to our YouTube channel afterwards. So definitely want to take some time if you maybe have to jump out or can't tune in to listen back to it on the YouTube channel. But we have TrendAppend joining us today. We have Grandpa Alpha Dev in the house, the founder behind this one. And yeah, it's a pretty cool project in my opinion. Just breaking it down, simplification levels, in the real world, you can think, crypto meets TikTok, Shopify, PayPal. That's kind of like the vibe these guys are going for. And they launched their TRND token on the 6th of December. And they did see a nice jump on launch day. I think you guys shot up to around your all-time high of about 450K. As it often happens in the space, especially with utility projects that have some hype around the launch, they do kind of come back down. But you guys are sitting around that 250 level right now, which is nice. But for me, it's all about the utility and the fact that you guys are live on that. Seems like you have a number of feature rollouts coming for later in the week, which is great. And again, the overall platform being an e-commerce, sales, marketing, kind of dual platform is really unique. And again, I've seen some of the videos that have been posted, from people being out at the bar with their friends and, maybe doing a shout out. There was a funny one I saw, like the mafia style video for the monkeys community. So again, it just seems like people are having some fun with it. And from the engagement side, most of the videos are averaging between 3,000 to 4,000 views, which is great. And, I spend some time on Twitter. If you average 3,000 to 4,000 views, if you only got a community of like 25,000 people, that's a really solid engagement percentage. And, I think that's one of the things I noticed about that. So yeah, the one thing I'll say, and the reason I like this, kind of like the use case or why I think Grandpa Alpha Dev decided to bring this forward, is just the wasted spend we see, the wasted marketing dollars, not only from projects in the space, but from brands in real life. So, ROI, or return on investment, is a term that you'll probably hear every day or every couple of days in the space, or if you're talking about marketing, and that's definitely an area we'll cover. But that's one of the reasons why I think this, concept makes sense, with their freemium model in place. And yeah, really, impressed me with the amount of information he was able to provide pre-AMA. Definitely seems like he's got a lot of passion for what he's trying to build. So as always, guys, just make sure you are following through, have the website up along the duration of the AMA. And then if you haven't already, just jump in the community there for TrendAppend after the AMA if you have any additional questions. But, impressive start. Over a month old, which is tougher to do than it is to say in this space. So I'll pass the mic to you, and happy to have you here this afternoon.
Hey, I really appreciate it. Can you hear me just fine now, right?
Mike sounds great.
Okay, well, just a little background on me. I created the first hosted shopping cart pre-Shopify. I was actually bigger than Shopify at the time, and I was a pretty young guy at the time, so kind of lost that battle between Shopify delusion, and then big commerce came along, and so I actually sold the bear card in 2011. So I'm just kind of giving you a history to income.com. And from there, I've done a lot of different consulting and e-commerce back-end projects. With all my projects combined, I've generated over $2 billion in e-commerce transactions in 36 different languages. So I am pretty familiar with global e-commerce. And so I sat back and was really looking for a legacy project. And that's why people call me Grandpa. I'm not super old. I'm 48, but I'm pretty old for this space. And I've been deving for a long time. I did mint Bitcoin at $100 for 3 days until I read about all the hacking, and I unplugged my computer and left it at that. So I'm pretty kicked myself all the time that I did that. But so looking at the space, I was, well, just looking at e-commerce in general, I was looking, okay, where is e-commerce going? It is going straight to video. So in the future, I believe that product images will actually be secondary and product videos will be the main thing. And so what I decided to do is I looked around at the space and I said, well, Facebook is pretty lost. They have Reels. They don't have e-commerce. Instagram has Reels. They do pretty well with Reels, but there's no e-commerce with that. And then we have TikTok, and TikTok's doing really well with Reels and e-commerce. And so I said, well, I can build a platform better than TikTok that combines Shopify and Shopify, Shopify. What did we say? But it's Shopify and that's what I'm getting at. So the last part is the PayPal part, right? So TikTok, Shopify, and PayPal. You mentioned it earlier. So I came in. I looked at the crypto space. Crypto space is great, but it's pretty technical for the average user. And so I decided to bring crypto payments onto a mainstream for e-commerce. And how I'm doing that is through a few different ways. Through peer-to-peer payments. So if you click on that $ of somebody when you're logged in here, you can pay them. This isn't quite live yet, and we'll kind of discuss where this is at later. But you can choose a user, pay a request, dollars, tokens, and there's a lot of tokens that are in there that they'll be shown in there, but it'll be really your own wallet. So we will have a TRND wallet that you can put into Wallet Connect. It'll be, just like any other wallet, but it'll also be, you can use it on TrendAppend platform to pay for, a TV or whatever. And so you'll have a wallet, but you also have a credit card wallet too for a simple checkout. So if I go over here to a shop page and I click on buy now, I call this a video funnel, and it's an attention problem solution with an action. So it's the ask model. So attention, which is usually just your shorts, and you bring your shorts into your product funnel. And then you have a longer funnel that explains, like, you're offering your product in greater detail. That's the fun thing about video, right? You can go even further. And then if I populate this out, I can actually choose an address when I'm logged in. See, I'm logged in here, and go to the next screen, check that out, and so we can do crypto. We have 5 different wallets supported at the time, and it has coupons. We have gift cards coming as well that you can use on this checkout. So the one is peer-to-peer, one's e-commerce, checkout for crypto. And one thing that I'm pretty excited about is tips. So if you're a creator, let's go back. So here's my video, and if you enable tips, you'll see an icon here on there, and you can use a person can use a credit card or a cryptocurrency, and they'll be able to just use their TRND wallet on the more simplified level, right? So like put in $10 or whatever. $100, but we have to choose a network before that shows. But so that's tips. And then the other one that I kind of wanted to show is invoicing and crypto subscriptions. So let's say that you have a Telegram group and you wanted to bill them in crypto, and to say this is a private group, it's on a monthly fee, you can pay with crypto. Then our system sends out an invoice every month to that user, and then they could just make a payment. Again, credit card, crypto, all the wallets. We'll have the TRND wallet, which will make it simpler as well. And I was going to show you. Let me show you in.
So I'll just throw a quick question while you're trying to pull that up, just with regards to the wallet, because I know everyone's always curious, right? And I'm sure you've had this question asked you before, is like, what's the process around like the wallet creation? How secure are these wallets, from like a private keys perspective? Because I know sometimes with these self-generated or manually generated project wallets, people have some hesitations just where the keys end up being stored, if it's offline, online, the type of protection around that. So for me, especially because we're talking about potentially needing accounts because of shipping and whatnot to have some personal information involved, really just curious on the security of the wallet, and then secondary, the security on the account and like the personal information side.
Yeah. So the credit card system is actually PCI compliant. And so PCI compliant is a mandate from Visa, MasterCard, etc. that says, okay, you've complied with all of our rules and regulations. They do an audit every month. And that's on the credit card side, right? And so on the crypto side, I have on the wallet side, I have a partner that is basically doing the same thing for me. And there are the three, the biometrics, PIN, and emergency code as well that people will get. And I will be able to query the wallet, but it'll be quite secure, is what I'm saying. So it's the best in class security on those wallets is all I can say on that. But the private keys and everything like that you hold.
And again, I didn't even know I mean, I could tell you were really passionate about this just from chatting with you and the lead up and just the amount of detail you put into the review sheet that we put over to projects. Like I kind of joked that was the first thing I said to you. You sent me the sheet and I was like, I got to say, I'm really impressed by the level of detail that you put into this. Most teams will just kind of, skeleton it to me. And then I have to do all the research and the digging on my own, which I do, but I just, appreciate people that are willing to put the time into their project. And I was saying to Buck, it seems like you have a really good depth of knowledge on like the outside, on the e-commerce side, but are maybe just looking to grow your connections and network within the DeFi and the crypto space, right? So yeah, definitely, like your kind of background and mentality really aligns with kind of like myself. I come from more of a corporate background. I joined in the crypto space a couple of years ago, and like I think a lot of the times projects have connections, but they don't have business experience. And you definitely remind me of one of the people who have like a ton of depth of experience and knowledge in what you're trying to build, but are just going to maybe need a little bit of help on the connection side and making sure that you kind of put it in front of the right people here. So yeah, no,
That's
definitely.
correct.
Yeah, no, it seems like you're really knowledgeable in your field. And I say for anything that is a utility or a longer term project, you can't focus on the chart, because the chart's going to go up and down as people buy in and sell it without understanding what like the vision or
what's actually going on. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like people trade a chart very different than, what the project may be. And I've said this about any long-term or any utility play is you need to have a team or a founder that's really knowledgeable and really passionate about what they're trying to build, because it's not going to happen overnight. The chart will maybe be a little bit frustrating to look at sometimes because you know you're building, but it's those people that have the knowledge that I say personally I kind of look for. And yeah, no, I really like your backgrounds, but don't want to go too far away from that. I know you were in the middle of, you're just about to present another step for us, so I'll throw it back to you on the presentation. But yeah, I just wanted to make a comment that your experience in the real world or in the actual e-commerce side, like 2 billion in funneled transactions is pretty impressive. I come from a sales and business development background, so I that's really, really big numbers. I used to get mad.
I'm actually
make a couple mil for the company in a year, and then you make a salesperson's salary, right? So like that's why I love crypto, because it's a little bit more like in your hands, and that's where the e-commerce, the entrepreneurial side of what you did is really impressive. So yeah, just had to comment on that.
Yeah, I think one thing that people should understand is we've been building the platform really since December of last year, and so this is December 6th was the full year of development that we got to the platform at a certain spot, right? And that certain spot, I was like, well, I think I'm ready to at least get the token out. I wrote the white paper in April of this last year. And so, and I haven't, I just was just building and building because I didn't want to say, okay, it's coming. And I wanted to have something more there. There's some bugs, and some of this payment stuff we're actually finalizing. But I can kind of explain that there's a round that's going through. So, yeah, I wanted to show crypto subscriptions, so you can do a month, day, year, and then how often, if it's forever, or if you want to build them like 6 times, and then you'll have to choose a product. You can do some subscriptions in credit card and cryptocurrency, and you can do a one-time invoice with that, or a subscription. So if you did a one-time invoice, it would just generate an invoice off of that product, and then they would be able to see the invoice here, kind of looking like that. But yeah, so that's the crypto subscriptions. And I wanted to show once you're actually KYC, you can take crypto directly. We want to verify that you'll do fulfillment and whatnot. And so here's all the networks that we support. It's I got one in China too, but again, we support all the main networks, and those networks will be supported by the wallet as well. But you can come in here and then put in your ETH payment address. This is mainly for the checkout portion of things, and you also have to be KYC and kind of go through a process that verifying your fulfillment, verifying your customer service, that kind of stuff before we give you access to that. We have a lot of other integrations as well. I just wanted to show you quickly. So if we for like lead generation, so if you wanted to gather lead information, we have all the biggest ones: Active Campaign, Go High Level, Klaviyo, Drip. Some of these are bigger in the U.S. than outside, but we have all the major ones as well. And so really, what I think I want to touch base next with all of this payment stuff is the tokenomics here is with all this processing, PayPal of crypto, right? We're going to share the profits from that crypto processing fees with the holders. And so if you're a holder, you'd hold, till the end of the month. We would check that, and then about the 15th of the next month, you would get that share. And there's a link that we'll be giving to holders that will show the processing of that current month and what their cut would be. And obviously there's going to be some hosting, fees and some other, some network fees and stuff like that we'll be paying out. That will be less that rewards. But that's why, as the platform grows, the processing fees grow, the token is going to become more and more valuable, and those rewards will become more and more real to people as well, and that's when it's going to get harder and harder to get get a trend token. We actually can pay out tokens to creators as well, or use the tokens to buy actual goods. So on the platform, right? So those are the three tokenomics of it: is the rewards for all this different processing. Two, creators can choose to get paid in crypto with Trend, and then three, use it on the checkout to buy goods and services. And so if
Sure, I wanted to kind of jump in and just with regards to like the pools for that trend token that will be allocated for payouts or for creators, like where's that coming from the supply? Is there like a percentage that you guys had initially allocated from the pool of circulating, or is it going to be something that
I hold it actually?
Okay.
Right now. I removed it from the the owners thing, because new people would come in and be like, "Why are you holding so much?" And I'd be trying to explain them, it's just new to this world. So I moved it around, but we'll always hold about 6%.
And then, I guess the second part of my question is like the sustainability side of that pool. Like, what feeds the pool and keeps it healthy? Like, as you guys are growing and paying out, for example, like if you 10x your creators,
yeah,
you're having to pay out essentially 10x what you would have. Obviously that's going to have benefits from like the platform side. Like there's fees going to be coming in if you're getting 10x that volume or whatever it may be. There's obviously going to be a benefit from the platform, but I'm just trying to figure out like how the fees and how everything is going to kind of sustain and keep that creator reward pool and the benefits for people healthy, because that's definitely one of the struggles projects have seen using native token in exchange for anything, right? So that's definitely something I just wanted to spend some time on.
That's true, and however, not every creator understands crypto, and we're kind of educating a lot of people about crypto and payments and whatnot, and making it simpler for people. But we have other payment options, so ACH, PayPal, Payoneer, Wise, Venmo, Zelle, in the U.S. So and there's other ones around the world according to your region. But I don't believe every creator will be paid in tokens. It's more like you request it. However, the biggest thing, and also the payouts for the processing, they'll be done in ETH actually. So that those won't be paid in Trend. The Trend was more just for straight creators. So a creator is an actual person that comes in, makes a video here. And so like if I watch this video, and so it switched to this other video, right? And this other video is actually would be an ad video, and creators get 61% of the ad revenue through that. And then if something is sold, if they come through and buy something, the creator gets another boost as well. So paying out in trend, it's really going to be more of like, can we do it? Because it, like you said, it's going to be pretty valuable, and we'll be doing. My plan is to really make this a blue chip, and go all the way with it. But does that help answer that question?
It does, and I understand that it's not everybody will be paid out, so there's a couple of different options, and it's not the pressure is 100% on the Trend token with regards to like the services that are run. So no, it does make sense. Definitely, just really want to make sure we spent some time, and I definitely have to ask that one is. Sustainability with regards to native is, an issue that has plagued some projects before. But, with your experience and understanding kind of the cost expense side of running an e-commerce platform, like there are obviously things that you maybe have information or privy to that I wouldn't even know. So, I'll defer some of that experience to you for sure.
Yeah, this is all hosted on Amazon. It's ready to scale. I mean, if we got a video that went viral tomorrow, we'd be okay. We're not dependent on taxes to run the website. It's really been to get the token going. So yeah. So the project will be around no matter what happens. And if, like you're saying, some utility ones, they go all over the place, but you just give us long enough time, we'll come up on top.
That's what that's the one thing I like about this one is you do have the experience, you got that knowledge, and I don't really care about charts. It's more so like I understand growing a platform takes time to get volume and get adoption. But also like the fact that it's crypto adjacent, it's a little bit of a different style than maybe some traditional e-commerce platforms are used to. So like as the overall narrative in the market shifts and perception shifts on what crypto can be utilized for, I mean, that's going to also help. So it's kind of like a good time for you guys to be building this with, what people think will happen for the market in like 2024, early 2025. So it's a pretty good time to be coming to.
Yeah. I mean, I came into a space that doesn't have anything like this, but also a space that needs something like this, because like I've said before is, crypto's, it's scary for a lot of people, right? And so there's a lot of fraud. I mean, people have been pretending to be my user already, because I think we're getting some we're going viral, I guess, right? Grandpa Dev going viral. And so that was kind of surprising to me that people would do that. But this space needs a whole, it needs to grow up a little bit. I hate to say that I'm saying that in a loving way. And I feel like TrendAppend will help that and show that crypto is safe and reliable for the ordinary user, right? And that it's a payment way, a payment mechanism that anybody can use and should use for a global economy, right? So you can think of this as, PayPal does global transactions now, but crypto, we could even go further than that, and use this for different vendors around the world. Excuse me. So the platform, yes, it's a video sharing e-commerce platform. There's a payment side. It has its own wallets as well, and those processing fees go back to the holders. But with all of that, my biggest hope is that I'm making crypto payments easy for this. Like, let me go in to like this user here. So if I he grabbed the crypto handle, so I think it's pretty cool. But if I go into here, right, and I choose the dollar, and I do, so you can go on to Trend and do dollar, their person handle, then pay them a whatever token from your handle, and so I just feel like it's getting easier, and I'll make it easier in the wallet. They won't really have to use the wallet in a sense like we use MetaMask and have the long contracts, and it's kind of overwhelming, because I don't know if people realize in this space how non-tech savvy most of the world is, and how simplified they need it. And so I'm really trying to make the crypto payments more simplified for the common user, and then reward the holders back for those processing fees. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. And I guess, what are some of the benefits or ways through like referrals and codes, coupon codes, that people could help themselves like further reduce that cost, right? Like it's not necessarily coming out of the project's pocket, because you're getting a return from whatever you're getting out. So like the benefit versus the cost, you're always coming out ahead in that sense. So like I'm just trying to figure out how you guys are going to leverage that to really help push you in as well, because I'm just trying to think about, it's not so much e-commerce, but it's some of these like subscription or monthly, like I do one of those food boxes, and that was all referral code based. Like a buddy of mine started it. My girlfriend and I were like, no way we're going to do this. He's like, well, I get a free box. I'm going to send you a free box. If you like it, you can sign up, use my code, and I get some free stuff. And I was like, okay. And we've been now using it for 3 years. So like that type of stuff is very effective.
Yeah. So this is more of a, so if I have a trend creators section here in the admin, and if you go into offers that you're pushing, you do get a referral link, tracking link with all these. You can actually download the video. But one thing that people have been asking for is a referral link for them, to send to have people sign up using their referral link, because we have a couple contests of giving away 1 ETH to the winner of that referral contest. But we're using Twitter to kind of keep track of it. So we're building out a system to do that. And then, but this referral, the TAV PID code, you pass that into the website, you get commission on anything that user buys or does, etc. Right? And so I can explain that more later, but there is a system in the back to do that. It just needs to be built out a little bit more of what the user feedback that we're getting from people, right? Does that make sense?
No, it does.
So,
And what would be like, just while we're on the topic of feedback, just kind of curious, what have been some of the more frequent comments, or, you know, maybe things people are really enjoying about what you've built and are building up towards?
I think they're not well. Let's see, how do I say this? I think that everyone's pretty much overwhelmed by how much we do have already and how big of a project that this is. And so it just takes them a minute to kind of absorb that, because they're not used to actual devs coming in and saying, here's an actual project, and here's where the project is right now. We're pretty much ready. And so everybody's excited, but I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I think everybody that gets it, they get it, and they're holding on, and they, you know, you can look at our chart. It held quite a while, you know, without any marketing or anything. So everybody's excited, and there's so much in the platform that it's kind of like they keep going deeper and deeper, and then they're asking more and more questions. So I think a lot of people haven't even gotten in to this admin area as much as the front end yet, right? So I think there's just so much there yet that we're still waiting for people to discover, and then when they discover it, they're like, oh yeah, this is how you do this, you know, and everybody's getting excited. So hopefully that answers that.
For me, feedback, listening to your community
Yep.
is really, really important. So yeah, I was just kind of curious what people have been saying, what you've kind of gathered from feedback so far. And I appreciate some insight into their kind of feelings and thoughts about the platform and the brand. But like I said, and I'll say it probably, you know, another 5 times throughout the AMA,
Yeah.
the chart is not the thing that I would focus on with this project. So for anybody listening, you know, don't pay attention to the chart. Really, if you're going to take the project seriously and do some more research, join the community, ask some questions, get a vibe for what the feel is. Go into the platform, look at some of the videos, see the level of engagement on the videos, the types of comments that are being made, the types of people that are engaging with that platform. Like, that's what you have to do, because as, you know, Grandpa said, he's got a lot of experience in e-commerce, in building up, sales pipelines, sales funnels. So those types of things take time, you know, getting new brand partnerships, getting new brands onboarded, having content creators that fit the brands that you guys want to work with, you know, identifying maybe niche sectors that are untapped that you could really make a good, kind of get a good foothold of, being that you are crypto adjacent and a lot of these other
Yep.
platforms aren't. You know, there's just so many things that will come up as you grow from an identification or maybe opportunity standpoint, that if you're just looking at the chart, you're going to miss what is trying to be built. So, you know, the nice thing about our channel, and I'm kind of spoiled in a sense of, you know, I've worked with projects that, you know, even on the Telegram side, that have runtime of, 2-3 years almost. So, you know, in this space, a lot of the time the turnover is much quicker. Projects die out a lot faster, but we have really been lucky with some of our utility plays. And I think actually Caesar updated one the other day, and this project launched July of 2021, and they just hit a new all-time high like yesterday.
So well, like, I want to get to 1 billion, so that's a billion market cap. So that's where I'm going. I know we can actually do that, and I have people in the background that have experience in that range as well. So I'm confident. I know that. I think I've said that before, and people are kind of taken back. But as they've gotten into the project further, I mean, TikTok did 110 billion in 2023. And so if we can just get a 10 billion or 5 billion, you know, we'll be doing pretty well. And so this project, like I said, this is my legacy project. I'd like to take it public in 5 years. and go from there. But yeah, I think everybody in the community that they get it, they've been so excited about it once it clicks, right? So it's not one that you just come in and is a chart going parabolic today? I'm going to get in, and then it's not that. It's a gem. It's going places. But I was going to say otherwise. I am actually in Vegas right now, networking at a conference called Affiliate Summit West. They have one in East and West. It's a pretty old school conference. It's been around for quite a while, 10, 15 years. And really they have done most of the traffic for, like when Netflix was getting going, right? They would come here. So it's all really old school guys that know the traffic space. So I'm here getting brands, getting traffic deals, and starting to build that. So like you're saying earlier, there's a lot of working parts to this, but we're doing it, right? It's not the chart for me. It's this project, and it's gonna be a lot of fun here at the end of the year. It's gonna be incredible.
I actually did
I'm in Vegas for
I actually did see your tweets go up.
Yeah.
I think you tweeted about that yesterday, 2 days ago, that you were going down. So I did see that on Twitter, and it's cool, right? Because a lot of the times, we'll talk about the crypto space here for a second, and how many people remember all the hype during like the Dubai blockchain conference, right? Or the Miami Bitcoin conference. Like, everybody and their moms like, yo, we're out here at a booth in the, in the crypto conference, but like, that's cool. But that's all like, I'll say siloed. It's very siloed in the sense that anybody you're probably going to meet at that, Dubai blockchain conference or the Bitcoin conference, it's probably already in crypto. So you're necessarily not bringing people in versus what you're doing, in an affiliate networking event like you're at now. These people may be unfamiliar with crypto and not understand the value and use case it can provide from a payment perspective digitally. Like, the blockchain should be used. Like, if you want to talk about one use, you can't argue about the blockchain because of its value versus a traditional sector. It's sending payments because it's all trackable and very trackable. Now the issue becomes, well, where is the end account linked to, right? That's where the issue with the governments and, people saying it's used for the wrong purposes. That's where it comes to. You don't know where the end account is, but the actual transparency around a single transaction on the blockchain, you can't get any better than that. So, I'll leave it at that. But I will say, like, you being at a conference like that, for me, is more excited than if, 20 projects were like, yo, we out here at Dubai Crypto Summit. I'm like, that's cool because everyone you're preaching to is already in crypto. So you may get a few partners out of it, but you're essentially fishing from the same pond, if that makes sense.
Yep. No, I get it. We have other conferences coming up that I will be at in New York and here again. I'm in Salt Lake, and I am doxxed. My name is Joel Otterstrom, if you ever need to look me up. But we'll all be in New York in May, and I come down to Vegas quite a bit because of the conferences. There's so many conferences here, right? So it's been Orlando and Las Vegas that are taking all those since COVID, right? But the other conference that we're going to are like brand specific, right? So I'll go to a conference that's maybe about traffic. I'll go to another one that's about brands. I'll go to another one that's about creators. So like I was in Dallas in October with all the top creators, YouTube creators. I met with Mr. Beast's people actually there, and we're kind of building up before we go there again. But I will, once I feel like I have enough videos, enough people on the site, I will actually get a meeting with them and see if we can get a shorts channel for Mr. Beast. I know Mr. Beast won't leave YouTube for his main videos, but he is open to shorts, and we will make that happen once the platform's in a, it's got the volume that he would want, right? And so that's been as well. It's just a matter of time and grinding. So we've got a plan in place, and it's going, and it's moving along. So I just think that everybody should be in it, right? Of course, from the dev's perspective, because I see a bigger picture, and I'm like, I used to get upset when people were selling. I was like, what are you selling for? And I was like, oh, it's just part of that. I'm kind of realizing that. So I'm a little more calmed down about it. But anyhow, is that helpful?
No, it is. And I do want to go back to really kind of deep diving into the platform and what you guys are building up over there. So I guess walk through the process of, I'll call it the matchmaking process between, some of the brands that you guys are working with and some of the content creators. Is there like a hub that allows for connectivity and communication? Like how would some of the brands go about maybe selecting your content creators that are working with you, or vice versa? So how do you guys facilitate that conversation is one of the things I'm really curious about.
Yeah. So we're gonna, the plan is, we should have not the peer-to-peer payments. The peer-to-peer payments will be done by February 5th. Invoicing, tips, the checkout's done now, but invoice tips will be done probably the beginning of next week, since I kind of delayed this with this thing. And once that happens, I feel like things have kind of, on the development side of things, it's ready, right? We've got all the payment stuff in there. We've got all the development, and we'll have all the tweaks out by then as well. So we'll be setting up a Discord server, and we'll be bringing in what they call is UGC creators. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. UGC stands for user generated content, and brands use UGC creators to make all those videos, right? So let's go to X really fast. So you can just go through here and you can see all the videos that these girls and guys make for brands. They're kind of showcasing what they do. So I'm kind of spilling the beans, right? Of how we're going to do this. So we're building out. I've actually spent a year in this community under a different handle, and getting to know these people. And we're going to bring them in, and then they'll bring in their brands and the videos that are already there. So that should be a lot of fun. So we're probably in February is when we're really going to start with the brands and the brand content in those videos. Does that help?
Yeah, no, it does. And I guess, how do you guys, because I know you have your own platform, but like from an adoption standpoint, it's going to take people time to go through the process of maybe getting onto the TrendAppend platform to post and share. What are you guys doing to almost cross-pollinate across like something like Twitter? Because I know you have like, Twitter, it just makes sense for you guys to really start, because if you can show value there, you're going to be able to slowly grow your signups, because the the use case is so similar, right? And it's just going to be
Yeah.
not so much removing Twitter from what they're currently doing, but it's going to be now the conversation becomes, why not add TrendAppend into what you're already doing versus take something away?
That's correct. And so, yeah, we've been discussing that. I think it's a community effort. I was also looking for a community, right, that I could launch this with. And I think I've blown a lot of people away. And so, you know, the videos that we do have now are pretty much crypto specific, and will continue to grow in this space. But there will be growth in other communities and other spaces as well. Does that make sense? So it's really just, we're starting here, we're growing here, and we'll branch out because we'll have a base, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And again, like, I think, you know, maybe the timelines or the adoption may be a little bit elongated versus, you know, traditional Web 2 or traditional like sales funnel, just because of the crypto side. But you know, like you've touched on, you have the experience, you've built these types of things, you have connections, and I'm really curious because we haven't really even gone into the strength of your network or anything. So, like, from a, you know, judging the temperature of the water standpoint, when you talk to people that you've worked with in that space, what's their appetite right now on crypto integration? And like, do they feel it's a good fit? Because if they're open to it, I mean, I think you ultimately have a you know, a bit of a first mover advantage, right? Because of your experience and the fact that you guys are already doing this.
Yeah, I think that's a good question, because people don't in this space. They're like, everybody knows crypto, right? But everybody doesn't know crypto, and they're impartial at the moment, right? And what we're doing is making it easy for them to pay with crypto and have a crypto wallet, and to get into this a little further. So right now they're, you know, it's not as exciting, the crypto payments part, as much as going against TikTok on the shoppable video end, because there's been a lot of there's TikTok shops, and it's been a nightmare. Let me see if I can find a nightmare to hold a TikTok shop. So I'll do this later, but I was gonna show you. I think that TikTok banned like 15,000 shops for no apparent reason, and people don't even know why, right? And my guess is TikTok's, nobody really knows who owns TikTok, but my guess is it's the Chinese government, and they have different philosophies about, you know, we in the U.S. we have our credit score, they have a social score there, and so doing business there is a little more complicated. So the shoppable video is the future, but TikTok is making it very difficult. And you know, this will be the first U.S. company that kind of that gets it right. And so the crypto payments will educate people as it goes along, and really we do have a first mover advantage here on that as well, like you're saying. And everybody's very positive that I'm talking to on the platform. As the platform grows, then we're showing, look how easy it is to get in with crypto, and we can educate them. Does that make sense?
Oh, it does.
I can just go on forever, you know what I'm saying?
No, and that's it. I'm really happy you brought up the education aspect, because
yeah,
I guess there's two sides of it, right? Somebody who's familiar with running an e-commerce business, they may need some hand holding when it comes to getting onboarded and setting up an account. So the first question I wanted to ask is, like, what are you doing to help onboard and make brands feel comfortable just with the change, and then around like the security aspect of crypto? So that's the first question. The second one will be more geared towards like the user side.
Yeah, so we are having brands go through a KYC on to use crypto, right? But we're also verifying shipping, fulfillment, and customer service as well, along with that. So the main thing is we, brands are like brands and creators, right? They're both equally important to us. I've got some ideas of some swag and sending that out when they sign up, and different things like that. And then we'd have a weekly webinar that brands can get on, a weekly webinar that creators can get on, and just go through the platform, talk about what they're needing, and etc. like that. So those webinars will start next. That we're just kind of doing some stuff this week down here in Vegas, but so the path to that is we'll have a welcome package. We'll also we've been planning on doing these webinars weekly that are open questions, etc. So,
I love that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely does. And now I wanted to mention from the user standpoint as well, like, do they need to be located in a certain region? What types of geographic shipping will like the brands you guys work with support? Like, those are the types of questions, just because, it's easier, I would say, sometimes in e-commerce to, in the traditional sense, to target like a demographic or a geographic location based on, what the product is, where the product may be based, shipping parameters, whatnot. But crypto is very global. So like, it's just a little bit of a different realm. So yeah, like, I know you understand the question. I just don't know how to phrase it.
I do understand. And I don't know if you caught earlier that I worked on I built a system that sold in 36 different languages, that actually didn't even sell in the US. So we do have, like, Blue Dart is all basically the largest in Asia. We do have contacts within large shipping companies here in the U.S. actually, but and then we have contacts in Europe. So for the most part, I'm gonna kind of give you a rundown. Okay, Brazil, you need to have your products inside of Brazil to do anything with Brazil. With Europe, it's easier to have your products in a European house. So we have a European partner that has 12 fulfillment warehouses. So we're actually going to be offering fulfillment, and there's some stuff here that we can get into another day. But Where IQ is actually in India. ShipStation is a US thing. But those partners, you would actually ship your products to those regions, and then we would sell from there. But yeah, you just can't, if it's a bigger product or a more complicated product to ship, we're going to teach them that you're going to ship product over to this address, and then we'll take care of the rest, type of thing. Does that make sense? So there's certain countries that are more protective of products coming in and out. Australia is actually another one that's actually pretty protective of what goes in and out as well. So I've got experience with all of it. There's just going to be some education. I'd rather have everybody be able to sell anywhere that they want because they're going to want to, right? And not be able to limit it. And that was the other reason that I wanted to do crypto, because if you're in different regions of the world, there's actually different payment options in every region. But with crypto, we can have crypto in every region. But I know there's some laws that are like about crypto. But if we can present it as a face of that it is secure, these brands are fulfilling, they're good brands, etc., that it's real business, then I think we'll be able to change some governments' minds and some laws for the better, right? And I think with the ETF with Bitcoin, I think that was kind of the start. BlackRock is actually in a lot of stuff globally, and so for me, it was kind of like the first big thing that says there's going to be more adoption and it'll be easier for people and whatnot.
Makes sense. You're pretty easy to interview. Like you give nice, concise answers. I mean, your shit when it comes to the platform and moreover the industry. And like that is, I know, you guys will have some challenges along the way. I know there's going to be some bumps in the road like there is with every project that looks to build any brand. Amazon didn't become Amazon overnight, right? Like, go back to the image of Jeff Bezos in his garage with, paper up all over the walls, trying to track his shipping schedules and stuff. Like,
it's crazy.
What is that, 1997, 98 or something like that when that famous picture was from? Like that's 25 years ago, right? So to think what happened now, I know I'm not saying, that like this is the next Amazon. I'm trying to put it in the perspective of a business with a real business plan takes time to execute. Reason why a lot of the times things move so quickly in crypto is because they'll just be reactive and they'll shift and move based on maybe hype or a trend. I mean, we saw it recently with a quote unquote utility project that launched on ETH. Well, ETH is a good place for utility projects, in my opinion, as long as you're not necessarily needing to run super high amounts of in-network transactions where your gas is just going to get absurd over time.
Right.
ETH is a good place for utility. Well, they launched on utility. We're doing really well. Sol was seeing some hype. They 4 days later, they just said, you know what, we're migrating to Sol. No explanation other than it's got some hype. And like then the project got exploited and now it's dead. I'm like, like real utility project there, right? So like a plan is a plan for a reason. It may take time to execute on, but it seems like you have like milestones and stepping stones in place and you're just going to go about trying to hit them. And it's like that's the one thing you'll never know is you can have these catalysts that come up sometimes that are unexpected. And if your plan is building steadily and then you hit these catalysts, well, it can kind of push it into overdrive and really get the adoption going. We've seen that in the space as well. So just my advice to you is just stay the course, keep building. Don't listen to people reacting based on what a chart is, because people who based on, react on a chart on a project that's less than, a month, 3 months, 6 months old when it's longer term, probably didn't understand what they bought into. And like those really aren't the people that need to cater your decisions around. And that's where I feel like a lot of, project founders or project owners in this space just react because of, unhappiness or vibe. And the people they react to probably don't know a thing about what they're actually building. So Just, stay the course. You seem really knowledgeable. I like your answers, concise, make sense. You don't overcomplicate things, which is definitely nice because you'll be able to connect with those maybe non-crypto people a little bit easier when you're going through the onboarding. And yeah,
Yeah, I think one thing I wanted to show really fast, every user actually has a shop tab on their profile. So you could list any product here. I know like some bad actors, you might have to report, like I didn't ever get this product or whatever, and we'll rate those and whatnot. But for the most part, I really enjoy this. So with TikTok, I think the shopping was an afterthought actually, where with TrendAppend, the shopping is forefront, right? And so you can come in here and go into your channel. You can upload products. You can import it by a feed URL. You can upload a file and download the sample file, etc. So those show up here. So we do support traditional products, not just the video with those. And then you can make campaigns off of those products. So go back here. So that's where, like when you create an account, you have a shop as well, if you want, right? If you don't sell any products, you don't sell any products. But it's not a big drawn off process to set up a shop. There is a process to go through for crypto payments and to take those. So that's pretty cool on my end. I think these are kind of cool things that I can keep showing you all day long.
Yeah, and I guess is there a certain stock or level of inventory somebody has to have of a product to be able to sell it? Like, is there a standard turnaround time in which like the goods would need to be received? Like, I guess my questions now more so revolve around like what that exchange process would look like, fund management, and in a sense almost like an escrow. Just how would that work? And then once goods are delivered, is there a period where money, not money back, but like a satisfaction guarantee? Is there a customer service portal that's going to exist if somebody's unhappy with what they purchased? And then what would be the process, I guess, to go through a return or a ticket to have the issue looked at?
Yeah, so we've gotten that question before. It was actually designed to, if I go into a brand's profile here, it was designed to do your own customer service. So you'll be able to contact that brand directly. This website is their outside website. So if they had a Shopify store or something like that, they could put that in. But the privacy and the terms actually go with the store, and then you would work with them directly. We would issue the refund. So this is a little different than, let's say, buying on Amazon. It's kind of a plan by us to say you can do processing through us. So if I go down here, once for a brand to use this, they'd have to be KYC'd. Otherwise, so what I'm trying to say is, once a brand is KYC, they can take crypto, they can take credit card on their own. We just take a percentage from them for the transaction within the marketplace. But you can come in as a brand and set up processing through your gateway. Like if you had a Stripe one, I know a lot of people are familiar with that. And you can come in here and put in your Stripe information. But those payments, and in this case, it would be directly to the brand, where they're taking the money, and then we're just charging them as a platform. So, like I said, this is PayPal, Shopify, and TikTok together. So it's a little different than some of these other ones, right? So yeah, does that help? Does that make sense, I guess?
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And,
Yeah.
from my end, I know what you guys have built and everything kind of around it has been organic so far in nature.
Yeah.
So like where do you guys plan to go from I mean, technically we would be deemed creators in a sense, right? So like where do you
Yep.
plan to go from like a creator standpoint? But like we don't sell any brands or like goods or services, but people like
Right.
in our situation, like how do you plan to
Yeah.
onboard them with their pre-existing audiences? Because that's just going to cut so much of your business development time if you can work
Right.
with people who have underneath their umbrella 10, 20, 30, 40, a million subscribers, and
Yep.
maybe a 2% ratio of subscribers to buy, so then you can kind of forecast up from there.
Yes, that's correct. I mean, a few of the whales this morning were talking about what we need to get on, talking to the crypto influencers that are on YouTube and get them to start a channel, right? So on a background sense, I was looking at India to actually launch in India, because TikTok isn't there; it was banned there. And as I looked at it, there were other apps that sprung up, and they were paying. I met the company um, that was paying creators, big, huge, like um, they had 35. They had like 35,000 of the top influencers slash creators in India, and these other apps were just paying out tons of money to these creators, and then they would run out of money, and then the creators would stop, and then the app would die, right? So we have to balance, incentives to, yeah, this is this is where you should be as a creator. So it's going to be a challenge, right? To incentivize, to get people to bring their audiences over, et cetera, like you're saying. But it's happening within the community, and it's organic, like I'm saying, like you're saying too. And there'll be a tipping point that we get to that then will we'll get the masses, right? We just kind of have to find the first movers, the first adopters, those that aren't afraid to be the first. I would invite you guys to make you and Buck to make shorts on make a Caesar's Calls channel on there and put shorts up and lead that over to your YouTube channel, right? So at least those shorts are here. You can tell people follow us on TrendAppend as well. I'd really appreciate that as well. But it's really just finding those people that aren't afraid to actually be an influencer. I think a lot of people, they say they're influencers, but they're actually followers of influencers, right? So it's kind of a tricky thing. But I like to say Grandpa Dev is working. So we're working all the time, and I'm excited for the future. So
Yeah, no, I think again what you mentioned, we'll definitely chat. Like I know I said, well, we're gonna get you guys on Thursday, but we do have the YouTube stuff coming, and I'm always looking to find different ways to get exposure, or just like
and do some cool stuff outside of the box. So yeah, we'll I'll probably need some help if I were to go through and set one up. But
Yeah.
we could figure something out. And I'd more so maybe like to get like that could be something I could work with our video editor. He's really great at what he does. Sirens. He does all our banners, all the YouTube chapter documentation, the uploads. Like he's really, really awesome.
Cool.
He's just a phenomenal guy. I'm trying to find some cool stuff and additional stuff to work with him on. So yeah, maybe I could get him to upload or start an account, and he could manage some of the
all that, right?
Videos. And yeah, exactly. He does our YouTube, and he's phenomenal at it. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to put more work on his plate without him agreeing to it, of course. But yeah, definitely think that would make sense. And my focus in February is to roll out our short form content campaign, which is going to be with a bunch of different projects, like 5 to 7 minute videos, like whatever is based on their ecosystem. So like a meme coin, we're going to do more like narrative based shorts where it's going to be looking at tweets, like the type of conversation going around it, like the types of people talking about it, the chart, the memes, the content, and then if it's utility, maybe demonstrations or onboarding videos to help people figure out how to use their apps, their tools. So yeah, I definitely think we could figure something out there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too is the challenge that we have right now is actually all the education, educating people how to use the platform, how to onboard, like you're saying. And I think as we do more and more of the weekly webinars, we'll be able to keep some of that content and then upload it and be able to, there'll be more and more adoption. And so I look forward to the day where there's, people selling courses on TrendAppend ads, like how to make money with TrendAppend ads, right? Or agencies buying courses from those guys that make that kind of content, right? So it's pretty exciting.
No, again, you seem really knowledgeable, have a good background. I'm excited. I'll probably pick your brain a little bit in DMs afterwards, because I do also come from like that sales business development background, more traditional scope, not so much e-commerce, but yeah, I think that's really even more impressive, because I kind of always had a book of business that I could rely on when I went to those roles, and it's more so about client management than anything. So
yeah,
it's really impressive. Now, just going through a couple of these questions here from the community members. Oh yeah, I did want to have you talk about. Sorry, there's just a few things left on my list. Any additional or upcoming changes? I know there's some feature additions coming to the platform. I know looking at like the UI and everything's still very base model. I love that it's working though. That's the most important thing for me, if it's functioning, because you can always add updates and tailor the the visuals and stuff to people's personal preferences as you scale. But the nice thing is when it's live, you can kind of grow the business and alongside the visuals, and more so like the UI.
Yeah, a lot of people want a dark mode on desktop.
Dark mode would be really good. That's like one that it's kind of a basic thing.
Right. So we're just trying to finalize Flex crypto features, and then once that's finalized, we're going all in on iOS and Android apps, because we'll have all the features set in, right? We do have kind of a base right now of iOS and Android, but it's not completed. But we've kind of put it on hold until we finish these crypto features, and then we would claim that the site is version 1, right? And then we'd put that into the mobile app at that time. So that's the next thing is coming. So I'd say by February 5th, kind of this this whole the desktop web version the feature set will be done and working, and then we will move in and get a launch date for or their mobile app. And we feel like the mobile app will help with the user numbers, but we do need a web version first. We do need web users first, and we need videos first. So we're doing it, like you're saying, in stages and phases, and making it very methodical, right?
Now, with regards to the platform, the token, anything like that, like I know we've kind of had some really cool, sub conversations about your background, and again, I know I dove into it a little bit more than maybe some, but that's one of the things I've always kind of focused on when it comes to longer term projects. That's like for me super important, because you have to understand what you're getting into from a second.
Yeah, so if you go to coin.trendappend.com, you can see the links to my LinkedIn and Facebook. There's our CMC submission to post that on the website. And then there's a link to the Etherscan for the token as well. And then all our socials across everything. So you can go ahead and look at my background there. We did a initial space. That was our first space. You can listen to that as well. And then join the Telegram group. And there's a business .trendappend site, and that's really for our brands. And we'll be beefing that up a little bit more as we get further into this as well. So.
Awesome. Now, if we missed anything, I definitely think obviously you have some more time to get it out. If there's anything we maybe didn't go into as deep as you would have liked. Other than that, we do have some questions, and this is kind of where we'll pull up some individuals from the audience to throw their questions in. I know Ken had a good question that he had sent to me earlier, so I told him to just throw his hand up at the end and definitely give him some time. But yeah, Grandpa, anything that you think we missed? I mean, this is a very robust product and a robust ecosystem that you're trying to build. 3 key features that we touched on, though, like the utility, the platform is operational. You can go through, send payments for goods and services.
Yeah, there's it's not perfect. There's bugs. This is kind of our soft launch type of scenario, so just be mindful of that, and we're doing the best we can. I do have a team of 15 people around the world. So people in Telegram were like, "Why are you still up?" But I'm actually coordinating with people all over the place. So,
Sorry, I'm up till like 6 a.m. to my time.
Yeah.
Seems to be what happens when you come into this space. Girlfriend still doesn't understand it. It's been 2 years.
Grandpa takes some naps during the day.
Yeah, funny enough, I woke up at 9, took the dog out, walked my girlfriend to work, and then came home and was just trying to do some work, put my laptop down beside me on the table, and then woke up 2 hours later this morning, and I was like, oh, crap. Well, I lost a couple hours of my day.
Yeah, I get it.
No, but no, really impressed with your background and just like your attitude, mentality as a whole. It seems like you have a good perspective, and you understand like the crypto space is a little bit, more like the underground world to business. There's not as much regulation. Sometimes the typical business courtesy that you would see in the, real world doesn't exist. But the thing that I really like is like the fact that you have that pedigree. You obviously have some connections. And as I said, more so on the overall perception of crypto as that improves in the market, e-commerce, digital payments, the blockchain from a transparency and trackability standpoint, like payments on the blockchain it just makes sense. So yeah, like with your background in e-commerce and stuff, as people become more open to the crypto payment side of things, you just never know what the future holds. And I like your experience. I like your background. We've worked with a lot of projects here for a couple of years, and I know everybody, it's tough in crypto because a lot of what you see is like so short term, so, a week or less, but that's not what we focus on when it comes to the utility projects. And yeah, just, join the community, stay active. I know I'm going to try and help you out, a little bit with a networking perspective, open up some connections to you, hopefully. And yeah, both Buck and myself, really impressed by your professional candor throughout the AMA, really well spoken. So yeah, him and I really like the vibe you brought to the AMA today, and really impressed with your knowledge. So, if there's anything else you wanted to get in project specific, I can give you a couple minutes to do so. If not, we can transition and get some community questions in here.
Yeah, one thing I did forget, that you can do physical and digital products on here, and you'll be able to download those products. We can set it to like 3 or something downloads, or unlimited downloads into their account and whatnot. So that was another thing. I just keep going, with this thing. So like I said, we've been developing for quite a while now. We have quite a bit of foundational money on here. I mean, we're bootstrapping in a sense of a traditional company. We don't have any VCs right now. I have one other partner, and then myself on this, that we're funding this, and really not relying so much on the token taxes or anything, but there's a lot more that goes into this than the taxes are ever doing. I have a burn rate of about 25,000 a month or something like that. But go ahead with your community questions. Let's do that.
Yeah, so I'll get Ken. If you wanted to throw up your hand again, I know I saw it go up and then drop back down. We'll get Ken Patchy up here for his question.
Hi there, Maurice. Hi there, Grandpa. Okay, I saw 2 problems and one other thing that could help. So I just suggest, and I'll put forward as a question. So in a way, are you open to having like the digital doppelgangers that are out now and AI influencers? The solution, what I'm saying here is that, firstly, you're talking to someone like Mr. Beast, which I know is only coming up, if he comes up, will be for shorts. But then again, right, even if it will be super expensive, and anyone who is even like half the standard of Mr. Beast will charge a very high premium for getting on the platform. Second, as you mentioned, that you saw the apps that happened in India and other countries, that after the influencers stopped posting, they started dying. The app died out. So once you have access to doppelgangers and or AI influencers, that is a non-stop feed. So are you open, because you are open to working with UGC? So it's just a step beyond that. So are you open to that? And are you in plans, if you are already open, to integrate that into the system?
Yeah. So honestly, I'm more interested in UGC, because I can get them to work with brands and myself to market, right? And they're a bit cheaper than you're saying with the influencers. So we want to get the mass first, and then it'll be worth it to the bigger creators to be on there, because the masses are on there, right? And so that's what we realize. Like you're saying, you might be from India or something, so you kind of know what happened with those other apps. But yeah, we're definitely open to UGC. I kind of showed that in with Twitter. So feel free. You can feel free to contact us through the site on that. If you just go here, just fill that form out for me.
No, like my question was basically related to if you are open to integrate a digital doppelganger of a person. you understand what does mean, right? Like if let's say I am, or let's say Maurice is an influencer. He is an influencer. What? So he has a certain crowd that already follows him, but
Yeah.
You have a digital persona of him that is not Maurice, that is working, that is posting stuff related to crypto, non-crypto, life, leisure, anything from your platform. The people that are following him will be following him as well, because this alternate reality of him says stuff exactly how Maurice perceives in his real life. It is based on his data, and he's doing all that. So, and that is all AI generated. The cost of maintaining longevity and the output of it is negligible to what a person who you are paying to will do over the years. So
I see. I see. You're saying AI.
Yeah,
influence.
AI. Just not AI. It is a lot of things integrated as with AI. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, AI influencers and a doppelganger. You need to have a doppelganger in sense, because you need to have permission and rights to some person.
Yeah.
Like if you're copying Maurice, you need to have his rights and everything. But for AI
Right.
influencer, you can just create one and go ahead with it. Could do anything. So yeah. So
Yeah,
will you open to that? Yeah.
I am open to that. It's just like there needs to be a value on both sides, right? And so just use the forum on there, and that will actually go to me. So and a couple other people, but yeah, just submit a form and we can talk some more offline.
Sure.
I like the idea. Thank you.
But that's not the idea. Like, I am not selling. That's not a pitch. I don't work with that. But that is what I think could help with the project itself, because it will cut the cost over time and all that. It's cool.
I appreciate that. It's very interesting. So I haven't really thought about that one before. So thank you.
That's what AMA is for. Thanks, Maurice.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, always some interesting suggestions and stuff coming from you. So love to hear what you have to say during these presentations. And then we will go to one from Buck here, who is sending me. Okay, so this one's from Random Ape. He was just curious if you could walk us through how exactly the PPC bidding process works. Is any brand or individual registered on the platform able to participate for ad time on popular creators' process, or does the bidding happen in trend tokens? Yeah, just like those are some of the questions from Random Ape.
All right, so if I go in here, so we've got interest and geo. With the interest, you can, so you could type in Mr. Beast, right? And that's probably, so we have Mr. Beast not, right? And what that does is it says anybody that follows Mr. Beast not will be able to see this ad. And if I go into, there's another thing to this. Let me go over here so I don't lose that. If I go in here to the creator settings, allow handle and ads. If that creator turns that on, they'll be able to receive additional money from us, from TrendAppend, for that ad platform, for that ad that they're running, because they're allowing us to advertise to their audience, right? Specifically, and as you as an advertiser, it is hashtag keywords description based, along with the geography, and there's some other things that we're adding as the platform grows. So can't really show you that yet, but there's about 20 other profiling things that we will allow. The bid right now is we'll be giving an RPM to the creator based off of CPM. So it'll be the CPM to an auction as well. So really it's just a max CPC, and then if your CTR is better, then that price will go down, obviously. Does that help? And there's more to it, but I don't want to go on forever. I think that gets the gist of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll shoot Random Ape. I'll have Buck just shoot him a quick confirmation just to double check. But yeah, I would definitely say, in my opinion, based on what I asked, that you did go through a nice explanation. And this is why I love like the Telegram AMAs versus the spaces a little bit.
Spaces, yeah, we can share it.
Yeah, I just like visuals. If you're a meme coin, spaces is the way to go for sure. If you got like no depth of content, nothing to look at, get on those spaces, maximize your reach for sure. Definitely the way to go. But when it comes to like really wanting to have people look at, break down, review, and visualize what you're building, I definitely would say like, Telegram, YouTube, one of those avenues until Elon ups the streaming potential on Twitter is definitely the way to go. So,
well, I feel like I have an opportunity too if we can get this up faster, because he's so burdened with debt. He's had to cut his resources so much. And I was looking at some of the video on there. It lags a little bit, right? So we'll see if we can get this adoption fast enough that kind of beats him there, and maybe Elon could just buy it, right? And bring it in. One other thing I was going to say on the crypto payment side, with the networks, we want to get to close enough to the networks as possible. So on the roadmap is really creating our own nodes within each of the network that we work with, and then we can see if we can get a kind of the network fee as well. So we want to be close enough or close to the networks as possible, and we don't really want to be a network, and we don't want to be a CEX, but we'll be close to both of them, right? Just where we're going and how this is working. So
now I will go here. Who do we got? We got Greed with a question. We'll go Greed, maybe Nita, and I'll try and pull up one additional question maybe from the comment section that Buck had sent to me earlier. We'll keep it maybe to like 5 questions. Try and keep the AMA recording to under 2 hours just to try and maximize that playback time. And then we will have you coming by on Thursday. And I know just with so much information, we're going to chat in DMs and we'll work on your pitch for that like 5-10 minute slot on Thursday.
Yeah, I know. I was at dinner.
That's the point of these AMAs. It really helps me.
Yeah.
I don't bring anybody onto those spaces unless I've had the chance to host and really understand what they're doing, because like we're pretty protective of our community and how we vet projects, who we bring in. We've had a pretty good luck lately, knock on wood, that we haven't had any rugs come by in a number of months. I want to say 3 to 6 months. So like that's, with the amount of projects that launch in this space, it's pretty good track record. But I'm even more selective when it comes to bringing projects in front of other people's communities. So yeah, like I think these AMAs are helpful. I really understand a little bit more about your own personal background. I definitely understand more about kind of like your vision for the platform. And I can help you kind of tailor, probably say a couple minutes on your personal experience within e-commerce, spend a few minutes on the platform, onboarding. But yeah, it'll be fun. We can do some DMs and figure out how to maximize your time on stage there for Thursday. And Greed, if you're ready, you can pop in and we'll get your question up here.
Hey, Maurice. Thanks. Been a while.
You're having a good
Hey,
start to
Grandpa.
2024, man.
Yeah. I don't know if this question has already been answered, Grandpa. So, what do you think is the level of customization and personalization does your AI marketing platform would offer or for marketing strategies to the specific needs and target audiences of those e-commerce brands?
So we do have, so the AI integration is, a content sense. We have video and ads, product. So you can use ChatGPT to, write all that. We do have text to speech as well, that has like 20 different voices or whatnot. But there's quite a level of personalization that we have. We call them signals that based on that, there's about 20 different signals, like a high buyer, VIP buyer, likes all your videos, a high liker, high commenter. So those type of things come in to play. And then what their in audience is. So what I'm trying to say on that is, it should, there's a lot. I have about 100 endpoints, and one thing that's going to be a little different for us is we're going to open up our API for the platform to show what is actually going on in the background as a privacy type of system for governments and whatnot, so they can feel comfortable with what we're doing with data, and then being, giving people partners access to that data and those APIs as well, and everybody kind of knows. So, the transparency that is in crypto, we're saying we'll bring that into the social media tech world as well. So that's something different and new for us. I'm not going to show the APIs in here right now, but there's over 100 endpoints at the least. So
yeah,
it's hard to. Yeah, I don't know if it's hard. It's hard to kind of consolidate that answer. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm somehow convinced with the answer, but yeah, I think that'll be it. That'll be it for now.
Okay, thank you. And feel free to reach out, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Use the form on the coin page.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks,
And,
Maurice.
Thanks so much, Greek. Great question. And we'll get Nita in here if she is still ready for her question. And as I said, I'll pull up one additional question from Buck. Nita, if your mic is okay, you can go first, and then I'll close out with a question from the audience from my coordinator here.
Thank you, Maurice. My question is, the Open API allows short-form videos to discriminate across multiple devices. How does TrendAppend ensure smooth interoperability and consistency when these videos are accessed on different platforms, considering the diversity in devices and operating system?
Yeah, that's a great question. When you upload a video, you'll find that it kind of disappears for a second. It goes through about a 15-minute process that encodes to a universal format that will also allow it to go on low bandwidth devices to high bandwidth devices, according to what you're getting. So it's a universal format that YouTube, Google video search can read in as well. That's supported by one of those, but there's a whole encoding services, on that, and it seems like it's worked pretty well. So that I can kind of give you more detail, but it's I got to get the format, but I can't think of the end of it, right? It's HLS universal format. So if you upload like an MP4, we convert it into a universal format that's accessible from every device, type of thing.
Okay, thank you so much for answering, and thank you, Maurice.
Thank you. That's a good question.
Oh, Nita, you've really been, I know I always kind of use you as an example of somebody who's really taken the time to learn how to listen and dissect a project during the AMA. And yeah, great question as always. Buck was impressed with that one too. Buck's going to have to head out here shortly because he's got to head to the fire hall. My coordinator is actually like a firefighter in real life. So he runs his own little charity channel called Buck's Firehouse. And there is actually the connection, like he's a volunteer up where he lives in a small town here in Canada. So Buck, if you got to take off, man, that's okay. I can handle the back half. I think we're just going to do one last question here from, I think it was Chris Rock. Yeah, Chris Rock. We're going to get in here for a last question. He was just curious. Now, when it comes to content, what is the difference, or would you guys have the ability to work with 18 plus content, or is everything that you guys are looking to have uploaded be under specific like maturity age group?
Yeah, we're just not going to do adult. I know I got some questions last night. So we might not even do dating, just because it kind of is a slippery slope from there once you get the dating influencers in. So yeah, violence, harm, adult won't be allowed.
Again, it was just a quick question about content and the type of age provisions that you guys may have built into the platform. So I really do appreciate that. And for
we use an AI that's Amazon's system to check out content and whatnot. So, and then we have a reporting in place too for those that slip through.
Awesome. That's didn't know that as well. So that's obviously a good name behind that. So I appreciate that extra little breadcrumb there, Grandpa. And yeah, anything else? Again, I always say it before we close out because, if you're like me, you maybe thought of something on minute 10 in the AMA, then forgot about it. And then you're like, just randomly comes back into your head. So, anything else that we missed, obviously I'll give you a couple minutes during your closing statements just to touch on that. But overall, really did enjoy the presentation. Just, love learning a little bit more about your personal background and makes sense now why, the level of detail and the passion kind of came through in our lead up in DMs, and you were able to send so much information and detail a lot about what your plan is. But yeah, as everybody knows, do your research, jump into the community. But you did impress me with your background knowledge. And, as I said, it seems like you may be just kind of getting into the whole DeFi Web3 side of the equation. And, I've been doing this for a while, and I'm going to try to open up my network a little bit just to help you out and introduce you to some other people who I think focus on the right types of plays, more utility, more longer term stuff, and can maybe help, get you some additional just names behind you in the space and still keep that relative organic feel that you have going, but just add a little bit more, maybe gravitas behind it. So yeah, really enjoyed the presentation. Grandpa seemed like a straight shooter. Love the background. Anybody listening in, jump into the TrendAppend community, do your research, pay attention as updates get dropped, but I love that the platform is live and you have that personal experience in the e-commerce field. So I'll throw you the mic to close out, and really enjoyable 2 hours from my side. So thank you for the extra time.
Yeah, it's wild that it's been 2 hours. I'm surprised everybody stayed on this long. I think it was really interesting. I love talking about this, and we'll keep defining the pitch and keep working in different communities and working with the different brands and creators, and it'll just keep growing from here. You guys really are at the foundation of this. You can go in there a lot of my holders, they say they can sleep on it, just go in there and grab a bag and forget about it. Come back in a year and have quite a bit of money, right? So appreciate you guys, appreciate the Caesar calls for having me on. You guys really have. It's been fun to talk to somebody who gets it, right? They're like, oh yeah, this is really cool. So I really appreciate that, and it's been a quick 2 hours for sure. Thanks, guys.
Oh, I enjoy hosting. I'm not so much a meme guy. You kind of run out of content material after 30, 45 minutes. But
right.
Yeah, really good depth of content here. And I know I was a little bit, sometimes people say, oh, Maurice, you flatter that. But again, I am somebody who I don't look at a chart. I look at the people behind the project, their experience, their qualifications, as you should with any, business or brand that is not just a meme, right? If you're a meme, you don't need to look at that stuff for a lot of the times. Yeah, you need to look at the team because you don't want to have a team who's deployed 42 contracts in the last 3 months and all of them have ended up dead within 2 days. You don't want that. But that's about all you kind of check for. Is the narrative good? Is the team going to rug me? Okay, I'm going to buy in if it's a meme. Well, when it's a utility, there's just so many additional layers. And as I said, not a lot of people, because it's crypto and, maybe the typical buying signals aren't past job experience, but, everybody asks, how Maurice, how did you get, to be good at what you do here? How do you have the experience? Because I came from business and I used to talk to multi-billion-dollar Fortune 500 clients and set up and book and host meetings as like a 20-something-year-old with their CFO. So I'm very confident in, I understand how to manage a room. I understand how to talk to people. And the reason I understand that is because I have proven experience and it's what I like to do. So I always say when you have the passion, you have the experience, you're often going to get a better result and have a much more engaged and dedicated team behind it. So hence why we do what we do here and we do it well. I think I always look for the same types of signs and signals when it comes to teams' experience in the sector they are entering for their long-term projects. So with that being said, really enjoyed hosting you, man. It was honestly a pleasure. Love learning about your background. So guys, check out the TrendAppend community. Do your research. And for any of our Twitter fans, I will see you guys on Thursday. We have Grandpa joining us on the stage. We actually have a couple really solid projects we're going to be bringing this week. I think I'm bringing 3 myself. And again, very unique. All have a different vibe to them. And all kind of really long-term feel. We got Trend coming. We got Eli coming, who is really trying to push the boundaries when it comes to augmented reality. So that'll be really cool to update them. We've been working with them since July of last year. And then Caesar is potentially going to have the Jam team come with us. And Jam is that project I mentioned that launched in like July of 2021. So some really good long-term depth on this panel that we're bringing. And like, I figured you would be a good fit with the other 2 projects because it seems like you're much more long-term minded. So yeah, man, I'm excited, and I will drop you the link to the space once it goes live. It should be tonight, latest tomorrow morning. I know A1, the CMO from CoinMerge, is just working on building some engagement for the big space we have Friday as well. So I'll drop that in your DMs as soon as I see it live. Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. Nice
Awesome.
meeting you all.
Yeah, you have a great afternoon. It was a pleasure. Really well spoken. Honestly, like I said to Buck at the beginning, this seems like a very undervalued project in the AMA just based on his experience. So I'm excited to see what the future holds.